This is two guys who shouldn't be giving dating advice.
We should not.
Giving you dating advice.
But you gonna listen anyway.
What's the difference dating at 20 versus dating at 40? Have you ever mid-date realized that you were the red flag? What is a date that you still think about to this day because it was that awkward?
Because no one posts the bad stuff. You know what I mean?
true.
They always post, oh, this is my queen or this is my king and shit. But nobody wakes up and decides to post like, yeah, me and Andre laid in the bed today for 3 hours and argued about that bitch that he won't stop texting him.
I'm Cody Troutman, and this is my podcast, The Cody Trout Pod.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cody Trout Pod.
Two dudes with microphones. Nobody wants to hear what we have to say, but we're gonna say it anyway. Wrote that.
That was the dulcet tones of Will Davis. Good friend of mine, fellow stand-up comedian, fellow straight man. And today we're going to tell you a lot about dating.
As I sit here on this couch with my legs crossed and my ass cheeks at the camera, straight top.
You're just comfortable with your sexuality.
Yeah, I am who I am, man.
Today's topic is dating.
Ooh.
Last week, Will and I were kind of brainstorming, like, what topic should we get into? We tossed a few around. I find every human is fascinated by, like, dating and relationships. Because it's something we all, you know, besides the asexual community, everybody else is trying to have sex with somebody or something.
Yes, everybody's trying to get touched. Everybody needs to get touched.
That's
you
true.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're just trying to fulfill that basic human
That
desire.
human desire of being touched, except for the people that don't like physical touch, which I don't understand that.
So on the dating front, I put together a list of questions.
Okay.
And because you're, if you don't mind me saying, you're 42.
42.
42. You're okay with me saying that?
That is perfectly fine.
The reason I bring it up is because you look 24.
Hey, you get up in here and you see these grays. It's a different story.
It looks
but
like you used touch of gray to appear more distinguished.
You
Like
know
it looks
what?
like the black is the natural color of the hair, and the gray you added to add a little character.
I wish I would have, but I'm trying to get my Idris Elba on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to look. I look like Blair Underwood.
Who's Blair Underwood?
You know, that's an old actor that you just. I'm a little bit older than you, so you
Okay.
don't know about Blair Underwood. But Blair Underwood was in Set It Off. He played the love interest of Jada Pinkett Smith in Set It Off.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look up Blair Underwood. to get your vibe.
I look like a young Blair Underwood right now.
Okay.
And I just want to put that out there.
Because you've been in the dating scene because you were a young father, right? Your son's like 20?
22.
22. Yeah.
22.
So okay, so you have dated young, you've dated as an adult, raised a kid, so you've had a lot of great experience.
Yeah.
I want to tap into that.
Let's tap into it. Because
Okay.
I've been, I started dating at like 16 or
Yeah.
you think you're dating at that time.
Yeah.
But now I've realized I've gotten to the point that I'm 42 and I know why I'm single now.
Oh.
Like I've taken all of that research and damage and trauma that I went through the last 30 something years. And then now I want to be alone.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? So
I feel like that's kind of an enlightened
we'll
perspective.
get into that part later, but let's
Yeah.
kick the questions you have just about dating because I got some experience.
Okay, good.
I've been broken up with in so many different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Get
You ever been
dumb
broken up with in a hot tub?
No.
You know what? It was cold outside, so you're crying and you're shivering at the same time. I knew where it was going too because I got in the hot tub and I got close to her and like she just kind of scooted away a little bit and I was like,
And the hot tub's not that big.
Man.
So to scoot away, she's got to be on the other side.
It was just us two in that hot tub. You know what I'm saying? She scooted away and I was like, uh-oh. I was like, I know this feeling.
Oh, no.
And there it came. And then I stood up. I didn't bring my towel out there, so I'm just shivering on the I'm shivering like a bitch walking back to the room, man. But anyways.
I just imagine like you're trying to scoot close to her, she scoots away, and like she turns off the jets. She's like, Will, we need to talk.
Because they were making too much noise.
Yeah. She doesn't want to have to shout it.
Because you got a hard time of hearing, so let me turn these off.
You're like, uh-oh, it's getting serious. This is bad. Oh, man, that's brutal.
It's when they turn towards you like this. When it gets...
Oh. I just had a flashback to in high school when a girl broke up with me in her car, and she unbuckled her belt.
Oh!
Oh,
If they undo the seatbelt and it's not
bad.
sexy in there, yeah, you about to get broke up with. Dude.
It was bad. Oh my God. I remember like she fully broke up with me. I'm in her car crying. She's like on her phone. She's like trying to get out of there. And I was like, so does this mean we're not together? And she was like, yeah, that's what it's exactly what I was like, I'm just clarifying.
This is why she turned the car off, because you wasn't going to. She's like, hold on, let me turn this off.
I was not hearing what she was saying at all. Man, that's hot tub is really funny.
Yeah, man.
Dang, that's intense.
But anyways, we tried it off. But that's what this is going to be about today.
Yeah, this is two guys who shouldn't be giving dating advice.
We should not.
Giving you dating advice.
But you going to listen anyway.
Here's what I think is going to happen. We're going to tell some funny stories, share our experiences. Then at the end, we're going to get self-reflective and we're going to realize, hey, we might have more wisdom than people think.
And then I'm going to be like, well, maybe I do want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Psych! Fucking psych!
You're going to call me in 2 months. You're going to be like, I'm never coming on your fucking show again. You convinced me I was ready.
Nah, man, if people
I'm standing outside next to a hot tub and it happened again.
Here it is. I'm going to let the ladies know right now, if you're thinking about hopping in my DMs, I did take a shower today with a piece of soap that was that big because I haven't gone to get soap.
Well, the reason the soap's that big is because you use it so often.
I use a lot
clean.
of soap,
You're
but I'm trifling and I done forgot, and I'm having to use a Tic Tac to bathe. So get at me, ladies.
That's funny. All right, first question. And I can participate in these as well, so you don't feel like you're on the hot seat the whole time. Like if you were like, hey, you answer too, I will.
Hey,
first question.
This seat is cool as a fan, baby.
What is a date that you still think about to this day because it was that awkward?
Oh, I tried to do some cool shit one time. Like we went on the date. We went to dinner and had like the best time. Conversation was tight. And there's always these little things that will take a date from 90% right down to 10%. You know what I'm saying? But the date was great. Food was good. We went to a bar after the fact, and we were sitting at the bar, and the bar stools were a little bit higher than normal.
Okay.
And so when I went to get out of the bar stool, it's like something happened in my knee, and I collapsed to the floor.
Oh, no.
And this was not a very clean bar. And so I'm like rolling around in agony.
Oh, no.
I don't know what happened. The next day, my knee was just a little bit swollen, but I was fine. You know what I'm saying? So, but I rolled around on the floor, and I guess she just thought, like, oh, no. Like, no. And I got up, and I was limping, and she was like, you know what? My Uber's here. And she just...
Damn it.
So, you know, I don't really... I don't hop out of bar stools anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I hit, like, the bottom of the bar stool with just stepped wrong. But, you know, when you're, I think I was like 37 when that happened.
The ACL, MCL was at the wrong angle. You just
Listen,
got a little tweak.
when you're in your upper 30s, you got to practice proper stretching out here.
You gotta practice
like,
the dismount.
You know what I mean? I feel like if once we got out of the car to go into that bar, if I would like stretched before we went into the bar, I think I would have been good.
Damn, you're probably
But
right.
I hopped out of that stool, and it was it was like someone had stabbed me in the knee.
No.
And I collapsed, and I rolled around. There was like beer and some like chips on the floor. And
damn it.
And I never saw her again.
Oh, shit.
But I, you know, maybe she saw that I ate too many of the cheese fries that night and was like, I got to find a way out of this.
Yeah, it was something totally different.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're blaming your knee, and she was like, did you see how many of those cheese fries he put in his mouth at one time?
He asked for ranch 3 times.
Oh, man, that's so funny. I remember, I'm trying to think, I have a couple of examples here. One example that stands out to me of a date that, and this was my fault that I made it awkward, is I was on a date, I was junior year of high school, and the senior captain of the pom team was this girl I had a huge crush on. And so I asked her out on a date.
Well, you said senior captain?
She was a year older than me, yeah.
And she was captain.
Yeah.
Oh, so this was like this
this
was Babe of the Babes.
I don't know why she said yes, but she said yes. I think it was because she had a rough breakup not too long before, and I was like the total opposite of this guy.
You were the nice guy.
He was like this skater dude, and I was like really good at algebra. Like we were totally. So we go on this date. Shockingly, it's going good. Like it's going awesome. We go to dinner. And we were just supposed to like get a snow cone, but then she's like, well, I'm hungry. We should go to dinner. So then we go to dinner, and I'm about to take her home. She's like, we should like keep the night going. Like we should just catch a movie. And I was like, let's go to the movie theater. I'm so pumped. And this sounds like it's out of a movie. She as I'm like driving, she like puts her hand on my leg. And she's like, I'm having a great time. She's like, after the movie, she's like, my parents are out of town this weekend.
And at what area of the leg area?
Just slightly above the knee. And for high school me,
there it is.
This was I had never been touched above the knee. That's a
good spot.
All the blood left my brain, so I wasn't thinking straight, and I'm driving. She's like, hey, my parents aren't home. You can come over. And I was like, at this point, I've never kissed a girl, by the way.
I'm surprised you didn't full on American Pie. I got to pull over.
I might have eventually, but I'm approaching an intersection. I'm just looking at her thinking about what's going to happen later that night. I don't acknowledge the traffic light. It's red. I drive straight through it. And as I'm approaching it, she's like, oh, it's red, it's red, it's red, it's red. And I drove straight through it, and we got T-boned on her side.
No.
Yeah.
What?
It was really bad.
You almost killed a girl.
I really did.
The captain of the pom team.
It was so bad.
Do you know the news story on that? If you kill as bad as these documentaries are about the plot behind people killing people,
yeah,
they'd been like, yeah, he got an opportunity and he killed her on purpose. He
no,
drove to that red light.
It was horrible. And
what the hell?
Yeah, it was really bad. Like, so she still had her snow cone from earlier. I'll never forget, like, it exploded over the whole car, and I couldn't get the grape snow cone stains out of the roof fabric of the car. So I would just look up for years and see those and be like,
oh God. That is tragic. So you got the car fixed.
Fixed enough to drive. It was a little old red Toyota Tacoma, the one that's in the driveway. The right side of it's still all smashed up.
I saw that truck.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw it. I was like, man, that truck's pretty messed up. for this neighborhood, I was like, that truck's ugly.
So yeah, we and I remember because obviously because it was a pretty bad wreck right in the middle of the intersection. The cops had to come and everything, and she was like on the phone with her friends, and she's like, "He's so fucking stupid. He didn't stop." I was like, oh no! Oh, so bad.
No.
So then after the wreck, I was like, "I'll just take you home, I guess." She's like, "I mean, we can go still see the movie." I was like, "What?" So we went and saw the most awkward movie of my entire life. She left a seat between us.
Damn.
It was brutal.
That's
she
worse.
like cried throughout most of the movie and was just texting her friends the whole time.
Probably because her back was hurting, dude.
Yeah,
you just got her T-boned.
I should have got her to the hospital.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah, I really should have finished the day there.
And we never spent time together again, and everybody made fun of me for a long time.
Yeah,
they should.
Because you almost killed.
I almost killed somebody.
Oh Jesus, that trumps my bum knee.
No,
You know what I mean?
that was just the story that came to mind, like the worst experience I've ever had dating, and it was all my fault.
It really was.
Distracted by her beautiful everything. It was bad.
Wow, I don't
like
know.
Having flashbacks.
That is awful.
Yeah, it was really bad, but good, she survived. Good for her. Her knees actually felt great, she said. She was walking really nicely, so she didn't have near the problems you did. Yours was worse.
That's not funny, okay? Because it was a lot happening that night. There was a lot going through my mind with my knee.
Ow!
I was like, why is this happening to me right now?
Did you think that maybe you had like seriously injured yourself?
I really thought so because I've injured myself playing sports, all my life, even as an adult playing adult sports.
Damn.
Yeah, I hyperextended my knee playing adult softball one time.
Oh, man.
I came around second hot. But I finished the game.
There we go.
And I limped at work for the next week and a half.
Dang.
Yeah.
But you finished the game. Did you guys win?
I don't remember.
I'm going to say yes.
I don't remember.
I'm going to say yes.
I think we did.
That leads perfectly to my next question is, what is the dumbest thing you've ever done to try to impress a woman on a date?
I don't think I go out to impress.
Oh, you're a better man than I.
Please tell me.
Are you sure? I don't want to.
And if I can think of something that I did that was stupid, because I've done a lot of stupid shit on dates.
Yeah.
Or for women. So something might come up, but I can't remember No, nothing off the top of my head. I think I've always been a pretty basic. That's why I'm single. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm basic as hell.
No,
I don't want to try. You know what I mean?
But like you have this cool charisma about you. You don't need to do anything special. You're just like, listen, you know what you're getting into.
I did have. I was with a girl that she wanted things to be planned out. So if it was date night, if we were going out to eat, and she wanted me to make reservations, which that's fine. And if you're going to a good enough place, you're going to make reservations.
Yeah.
But I made reservations and I had flowers sent to the restaurant.
Oh, that's nice.
But it took her like 3 hours to get ready. She was just having one of those days.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing was working. And so, boom, $40 on flowers.
Damn. So you guys didn't even make it to the restaurant?
No, we ended up going to Louis at about 11:30 and eating chicken wings and French fries.
Damn.
You know, we didn't last much longer after that.
Oh, man. Well, did she look great or was it 3 hours not worth it?
She ended up putting on like a crew neck sweater. You know what I'm saying? And like some jeans. And I was like, that's great.
You're like, no. If you're going to take 3 hours, you better come out in a prom dress.
I watched 3, what was it? The underdevelopment league of the NBA. There was games on. And I watched 3 different games.
3 G League games?
Yeah, 3 G League. That's what G League games. It was like, this is good.
You're like, Pascal Siakam.
Like,
they should call him
guy?
up. Yeah.
I think I'll say something to him.
I just saw last night that he was like in the G League like 6-7 years ago. Like that's crazy.
I mean, it's from what I've heard from being around people that have had friends or are friends that have really gone that route, like the NBA route.
Yeah.
It is work.
Oh.
And it's like say in comedy, you're at a show and you're not on, but somebody that's supposed to be on bows out or gets sick, and you get on and you crush, and then somebody's there that saw you crush, and then boom, there goes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So somebody has to like blow an ACL, and then you got to get in there, and then you got to hope a couple other people, you know, either aren't taking care of their responsibilities as a player, or tear their legs up, and then boom, you're in there. Once you get there, you got to stay there. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of work. So Siakam did what he was supposed to do.
I'm going to be at Bricktown one night, and they're going to run out and be like, Cody, Will hopped off a bar stool. He tore his ACL. Can you perform? Like, I can do it. I'm going to get up there and be like, I heated up my snack. Y'all better make this quick.
Is that how I talk? You know, Nick Campbell calls me sassy.
That's really ironic coming from Nick Campbell. He's pretty sassy.
He is pretty sassy.
He's a pretty sassy guy. Do you have any more? Do you have any other stories on that?
No, I think in my older years, I felt like that was stupid as hell.
Yeah.
Of me. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even really about the $40. It was like, well, why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? So, because I just tried to go the extra mile for this particular person because she liked the courtship.
Oh,
of
yeah.
It. You know what I'm saying? I just went overboard.
I think I'm just speculating here, but I think oftentimes I'm guilty of it too. Early in a relationship, we'll go bigger on the gestures before that relationship might have earned that level of investment.
Yeah.
But then later on, even like the relationship will have earned that level of but we've already done the big gesture, so we're just like coasting.
They call that love bombing.
Because I'm trying to flip it in my life. Like now that I've been with this woman for like 4 years, this is the person I want to be with forever. I'm like, I'm gonna treat it like we're still first date. You know, gesture. You know, really invest in the relationship so it doesn't just coast and get stale.
So now you're about to whip out the good stuff on her.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
You're like, oh, by the way, my wiener is 18 inches. And it spits out gold coins. She's like, Mom, I've married the one. Yeah. This whole time you thought he was a bum living with his parents and his penis shoots out gold coins.
He should collect some. It would help him pay his bills. No, they were like, it is. My girlfriend is pretty successful, and so it is. I do feel embarrassed, like being around her family and stuff.
I don't. Go ahead.
Well, they like she's successful. She's amazing, gorgeous, coolest person ever, and she's like dating this guy who like does open mics. I think
that's called balance. You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
if I become successful, the relationship's over.
no, if you become successful, then the battle of success starts.
Then she
know
has
what
to
I'm
get
saying?
fired.
Yeah, pretty much. You got to beat her. Once you start reaching success, your success has to. You have to be better than her. No,
I've either got to be a major loser or big
or
time
way
winner.
better than her. Like, but no, it doesn't.
that's
I don't
funny.
think it works that way. I think that people are. If you're in a relationship and money is your biggest issue, or like status is your biggest issue, then you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's true.
Like, whatever happened to people just finding their soulmate or like really loving someone because of who they are, and they work hard and they take care of me and I feel secure in that relationship. You know what I mean? I know people that I know for a fact don't feel safe in their relationship and don't feel secure in their relationship, but they got a bunch of money and they go on these vacations and they take these trips and you know what I mean? They get the good stuff. They're driving this and they're driving that, but deep down inside, they're like, oh God, I can't wait till this person dies. Like,
that's
so
hard, man.
money.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard because it's like on paper the relationship looks great, but like and checks all the boxes. Yeah. But underneath that is kind of this like insidious anxiety.
And you know why we know these things about these people is because they put all these things on social media.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel like nothing ruins a relationship faster than posting everything you do on social media. What do you need? Like, because no one posts the bad stuff.
That's
you know what I mean?
true.
They always post, oh, this is my queen or this is my king and shit. But nobody wakes up and decides to post like, yeah, me and Andre laid in the bed today for 3 hours and argued about that bitch that he won't stop texting him. Nobody ever does that on social media. It's
that would
always,
be bold.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell the bad stuff too.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true.
So I always feel like the couples that are on social media posting all of this sweet and lovey-dovey shit, those are the most miserable people. Oh, man, because they have to because there's no validation coming from inside the house. So they got to go to social media. Like, oh, look at these flowers he sent me 4 days ago after I called him a stupid son of a bitch.
Like, they're trying to convince themselves as much as they're trying to convince their followers.
Yeah, when people like your statuses and and they comment like, oh girl, you married the best person, but that person that's commented never met that person.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So because all they're seeing is the stuff that they're posting about that person. But post the bad shit, man.
I think what's funny is when you see a couple and they'll post like a picture of them together, and you know that they talk shit about each other, and you know all their friends talk shit on the other one to each other.
Yeah.
But then they'll post a picture together and their caption will be like, my true love, my oxygen, my this, my that. And then all the comments from these people that you know always talk shit are like, oh my God, dream couple, goals, mom and dad.
Bitch.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Bitch, he is like, no. How were you breathing before you had this? Before you had this breath? Yeah. I'm pretty sure you were breathing just fine.
You're right, man.
My lifeline. No. This is my lifeline.
My bones and my ligaments.
Girl.
Oh, that's funny.
That show, Love After Lockup. That's the perfect.
I haven't seen it, but I know
it's the perfect example because these people are like telling the buttery stuff before they get out of jail. But as soon as they get out of jail and they see this person that's been giving them all this money, they're like, all right, let me get. You know what? I don't have to change of heart. I think.
Oh, that's so funny.
You know what I mean?
So, I need to check that show out.
It's awfully delicious. so go ahead.
I was gonna ask. Have you ever mid-date realized that you were the red flag?
Ooh, yeah.
Because I think it's easy in our own heads to kind of convince ourselves like, I'm great, let me evaluate you. But then sometimes it'll flip and you're like, oh man, maybe I'm the problem.
Well, because I remember being like just young and where I was a bartender. Yeah. So I would go to places and I would just know people, you know what I'm saying? Know the bartenders and stuff like that. But it was always it was never it should be a high and by. You know, when you're on a date,
Gotcha.
when you're trying to entertain someone, like move around. But I would be standing and having these 5-10 minute conversations with people. Like, what? Okay, so you went to college? Where? Oh, what's up, girl? How you doing? I ain't seen you in a minute. Like, hold on, we'll talk about college in a minute. Hold on, yeah. Huh, where you working at tonight?
And your day's just having to sit there.
Yeah, just having to sit there. You know, so yeah, I mean, I think I'm realizing it now that I was a piece of shit. You know what I mean? But just not really caring about the person that was giving their time to me. But when you're in your 20s, you're not thinking about that.
Yeah.
You're thinking about, you know, where is this gonna go after this? You know what I'm saying? Are we going back to your place or not? Because we can't go back to my place because I live with my mother.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
me too, baby.
I was 24 years old with a baby living with my mom. So
You're like, listen, I got a sitter for this.
You know what
if
I
this
mean?
isn't going anywhere.
My mom's is at the crib with the baby. So I need...
If you come home before 11 p.m., she's like, you ain't get no pussy.
And she said, I got to hurry up and bring her car home. So, you know. I forgot how trifling I was when in my 20s, man. Driving my mama's car on dates. But
that's so funny.
Okay.
That's a good point, though. It's like when you're younger, it's easy to kind of get lost in like, oh, this is kind of my world. So I got my date, I got my friends, we're all talking.
Yeah.
But now, you know, you've matured and you're like, oh, when somebody's on a date, I have to appreciate their donating their evening or giving their attention to me for now. I want to return that in kind.
Well, and I think, yeah, like nowadays, if I were to go on a date, I wouldn't take the person to a place where I know I'd run into a bunch of people.
Oh,
you know
okay.
And I would take the person to a place where we could continue this conversation if it's going that far.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I go to a restaurant, but that's, you know, I go to a restaurant and maybe know a server or maybe know a chef or something, but that's rare. You know what I'm saying? And that conversation ain't gonna last 10 minutes because the server got to get back to work.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? There's water over there that needs to be refilled. What are you doing? You're stressing me out. I work in the service industry, so when I go to restaurants, it's a different experience for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're kind of like feeling what they're feeling.
Ah, man, I'm looking around. I'm looking on the floor. If the floor is trashy, I'm going to be sad. I'm looking below my feet because if they didn't sweep after that last table left, you know, I'm looking at water spots. I'm looking everywhere. I'm seeing how stressed out the bartenders are. I'm looking to see how many drinks are not being run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't go out. Right? That's why I really don't go out there. I go to Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Because I go to Olive Garden.
Because when you're there, you're family.
You know what I'm saying? I go to Olive Garden and Chili's.
Yeah.
And like good times. Because I know the food and I know what service I'm going to get.
That makes sense, man.
So, but if anybody can handle going, if you hopping in my DMs, ladies, I hope you like Olive Garden. All you can eat breadsticks and salad. We starting with that.
That's a good place to start.
Breadsticks and salad is on me. we don't gotta split that.
I can see you on a date like watching the servers are struggling. There's drinks not being run. The floor's dirty. You're like, hold that thought. You put on an apron. You're like, give me a room. Come on now. This is unacceptable.
The one and only time I went to Jamaica and I wanted to help so bad. I was like, these people look like me. Let me help. You know what I'm saying? What time I clock in, man? Let me get one of them shirts.
I remember I went to Jamaica and we were young and there was this guy on the beach that did like these little wood carvings.
Yeah.
And he just walked up. They had like this little scam they would run. I was a kid. I didn't know. So he's like, what's your name? And he got this little wood carving and he carved my name into it and he gave it to me. And I was like, whoa. And he was like, oh, go show your parents. Bring them over here. And I was like, Mom, look what he gave me. And he was like, $20.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. Well, I mean, I didn't quite understand. My parents were like, what? We're not going to pay you for this. He's like, well, it has his name on it. It's his. I can't sell it for anything else.
I mean, they talk fast. One time, what one dude told me in Jamaica, he said, slow down. You're in paradise. Oh. And that made me, if you would have slowed down as a little bitty kid, then your parents would have had to pay $20 for a piece of wood.
It's true. Should have just enjoyed the beach. I didn't need a little figurine.
You had sand everywhere, dude. Yeah. Sand and water. What you need a piece of wood for?
Slow down. You're in paradise. That's what I'm going to say next time that I'm making out with a woman. I'll be like, hey, slow down. You're in paradise.
You know what?
That's a pretty good line.
Let me tell you something. If your breath smells like Werther's Original, she's never going to let you go. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. You gotta. Back in the day, it was butterscotch. You go to the club and you either had peppermint candies or butterscotch. Because you roll up on somebody with butterscotch on your breath. You know what I'm saying?
This is a distinguished individual.
Yeah, now it's a Werther's Original. I'll pop it. If I'm going to talk to somebody, I'm going to pop a fresh Werther's Original. Wow. And I'm going to get up in your face.
I've never even tried that move. I might have to experiment with that.
Yeah, man. It's different than a peppermint.
Yeah. I just imagine, the slow down, you're in paradise. I'm still stuck on that. I'm imagining, like, what if you were going down on a woman? And, some guys can get a little over aggressive. Mm-hmm. And what she just imagine she grabs your hair and she's like, hey, slow down. You're in paradise. That would work on me.
I'm buying a ring.
Yeah, that would be like, wow.
Yeah.
Let me take my time.
Set me up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be great.
Do you like chilies?
Have you ever heard of this place? They do unlimited breadsticks.
Breadsticks
Not
and
sure
salad
if you've ever been.
on your boy. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that.
You're
popular at Olive Garden. You be like, what's up, Tito? Hey, yo, let me get the setup. Yeah. And all the setup is breadsticks and salad. Yeah. It's like, oh, he knows people here.
Yeah, like he's connected. Man, that's great. Okay, so we talked a little bit about it. You've dated as a youth and now in your current life, so you have kind of this like multi-decade experience. Yeah. What's the difference dating at 20 versus dating at 40?
You're not asking the right questions at 20.
I'm not asking the right. Oh, you're not. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At 20, you're not asking the right questions. You really just like, I feel like in your 20s, 20 to 27, you're not. If you're seriously going on dates and trying to get to know people, you're not asking the right questions because you don't know the questions to ask. You know what I'm saying? But at 40, we're asking all the questions. Like,
what kind of questions do you ask now?
What kind of questions do I ask now? How many kids do you have that are still at home?
Great question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you have any kids in jail? Because I want to know if his jail situation is going to affect me. You know what I mean? Am I putting in on
He may
his
not
book?
be at home now, but in 9 months he will be coming home.
And what did he do to get it, you know what I'm saying, to get it put in there? Because I need to know if I'm going to be living with a murderer.
Oh,
so.
True.
But
he killed my ex-boyfriend.
Done. One of the most important is how many curable diseases have you had in the last 20 years?
Ooh.
Because that's important. You know
Very important.
Saying? Not really, but it's just a fun question.
Yeah.
Because you get some stories.
One of my friends, he matched with, this is back when I was playing golf.
Yeah.
And we were at a tournament, he matched with a girl on Tinder and went out to like try to hook up with her that night.
Yeah.
And she was like, don't pull my hair. And I guess he didn't listen. He pulled her wig off and she starts crying. And she's like, I have cancer.
This is what I'm saying, man. If you got to be listening.
Yeah.
So listen. How old was he? Was he in his 20s?
21.
He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't listening. And he didn't care. Like dating in your 20s, you just don't care about. A 21-year-old penis is a very disrespectful penis. You know what I mean? 18 to 21, 18 to 25. I mean, people should just stay away from those penises unless you just want penis. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to know what you're getting into.
Yeah, and then she's got to relive this, she just wanted to get some.
Exactly.
That's all she wanted was to get some. And he had a golden opportunity. She gave up her body for you.
She probably skipped her chemotherapy appointment that afternoon.
You know what I mean? I tell you what, in your 20s, and men need to learn to appreciate when a woman is giving you her time and her body. Like, that is a real privilege. Like, you think you walking around here with all this special shit because you got a penis? Nah, dude. Nah, man, because you got to work for something. But
that sounds like something else you learn through experience, is like the appreciation of a partner. Whether it's in that moment or long term. Like, hey,
yes,
appreciating this.
Yes. There's a thing called that back in the early 2000s, it's called a jump off. People call it a friends with benefits or like a fuck buddy, cuddy buddy.
Yeah.
But Joe Budden said it best. My jump off doesn't run off at the mouth so much. My jump off never asks why I go out so much. My jump off never has me going out of my way. She don't want nothing on Valentine's Day. My jump off don't argue or get rebellious, and she don't mind hanging out with the fellas. My jump off's not insecure or jealous. Pump it up. That's Joe Budden. That's
See,
early.
30 minutes ago, you said you wouldn't rap on this
That's
podcast.
early Joe Budden, though. That's I quoted Joe Budden. I don't own the rights to that song, Joe. Have me on your show, though.
Yeah.
But those like the friends with benefits, the fuck buddies, those people are very important in a sexual person's life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta fill the gaps with something healthy. Something healthy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you're just out here swiping and boning, I mean if you're getting away with that, it's still appreciate the people that are, you know what I'm saying, letting you into their bodies. You know what I'm saying? But if you can find just one that you're their one and she's your one that you can just hang out with and do the dirty with and like have some conversation with, do that. I've had plenty of those, and over my 20 years of dating, I've had plenty of those, and it's been great. I had a jump off that would make me a snack bag when I was done, because she had kids. She had kids, and so we would get done after the club or whatever. We would get done, and she would fix me a little snack bag. It'd be like some Funyuns and a juice box, you know what I mean? Sliced oranges in a bag, you know what I'm saying? Just to let your boy replenish on the way home.
You're like, did we go to the club or did I have a good game at the Y? I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I had a jump off. I need to stop saying jump off because it feels disrespectful these days.
It sounds cool.
I had a friend with benefits that it was silent. Like, it was like text. It would be a text like on a Friday or Saturday.
Whoa.
Like, you out. What time?
Whoa.
And then your place, Edmond because she lived in Edmond.
Wow.
It's like Edmond or City. You know what I mean? And then boom. And we just kept that popping. I met a girl on Bumble, one out of 2 times that I started swiping.
Yeah.
Because I swiped on Tinder, got a really good friend out of that. And then a couple years later, I started swiping on Bumble. This is like mid-30s.
Yeah.
And found a really good connection. We hung out, went on a couple dates, realized that we weren't like date each other material, but we also realized that we were touching material. touch each other material. You know what I'm saying? And that lasted for like a year.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, what you got going on this week? You know what I'm saying? I'm free Tuesday. Boom, boom, boom.
That's amazing.
And it was beautiful. And she was a teacher, so I knew I was getting a text on Friday at 2:10. You know what I'm saying? What you doing? Yeah, turn on. So
you're like, I've been stretching for 2.5 hours.
You
I'm
feel?
ready.
I'm ready to go. The knee is in full go.
My knee
the knee is
ready.
back.
Get a bar stool. I'm gonna jump off it. I'm gonna stick this.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump off.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Did that.
That's good.
But yeah, those, I think friends with benefits are, as long as you can find a really good, healthy one. Yeah, man.
It sounds like the common theme of like dating stories that you're like, I was young and foolish, and then dating stories now. The common theme is just like when we're young, we all start with a certain level of selfishness and self-centeredness.
Yeah.
And as you mature, you learn to kind of turn that lens a little external and be like, let me care about the people that I'm choosing to spend time with. Sounds like that's the common theme is selfishness decreases, kind of caring for those around you increases.
Yeah.
Whatever the situation, whether it's a date, friends with benefits, long-term relationship, just kind of less focus on like, what do I need, and more focus on what can I provide them because they're choosing to provide for me.
Exactly.
Wow.
You get there by heartbreak and trauma and learning yourself. It's wild to think that people will get out of a relationship and then 2 months later they're in another one. Like, where did you heal? You know what I'm saying? So like doing the proper healing is so essential. You know what I mean? Because you're just running other people down, and you're continuously running yourself down, and then you get to 40 and you're like, why can't I love people? Why does nobody love me? Because you're so broken inside because you never healed. You know what I'm saying? So
that makes me think of, it actually kind of ties into a question earlier when it's like, have you ever been on a date and realized you were the red flag? I always thought of myself, because I was kind of a late bloomer, very like focused in school, kind of like followed the rules. I always thought like, oh, I'm like the green flag. I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
And then like 5 years ago, I went on a few dates with a woman, and this was right after my golf career had ended, and I was kind of just like spiraling and wasn't really my best self. I wasn't what's the right way to put it? I wasn't really making great decisions for my long-term future, wasn't really like valuing those around me, that kind of thing. And I remember I was on a date with this woman, and I had always just thought like, oh, I'm a good guy, I'm the green flag. Then she's like telling me about her family, telling me about her life. You know, she's like clearly interested in getting to know me. Like, oh, this golf thing didn't work out. Are you okay? And I sat there and I was like, damn, like this woman is like a really good woman. And I'm kind of in a scumbag phase right now.
Yeah, man.
That was a hard realization. And
but that's a beautiful realization.
Yeah, we stopped hanging out after that because I kind of felt guilty, and I knew I couldn't provide her what she needed. Yeah. And I knew that if I was just taking what I wanted from her, it was going to be negative. And I remember that kind of started about a year-long odyssey of, I'm like, I got to date less. I got to make sure that like I'm ready for a relationship where I'm not hurting someone else just to get what I want.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, fast forward a year later, I meet the woman I'm with now, and things are amazing because of some of those realizations I had when I realized I was like, dang, I might be the problem here.
Yeah, man. That's that inner healing and loving yourself first.
Yeah.
Opens up so many doors to other things. You know what I mean? I haven't been in a relationship in 2 years.
Yeah.
My last relationship was 2.5 years ago. And I realized once that relationship was over that I had to look internally, but not from anything that I feel guilty about in that relationship, but just because of how I let the relationship manipulate my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I changed a lot of myself and a lot of things I did for a person. And that's not the way to do it. Yeah, you can make some adjustments to yourself to, you know, as long as they're making the proper adjustments to, you know, to level out for each other. But I gave up a lot.
Dang.
You know what I mean? Just like a mental space. And I just stopped caring about other things and was focused on that only. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to, you know, and I'm single by choice, by hard choice. You know what I mean? Because I just don't want a relationship. And it really has nothing to do with that relationship. It has more to do with me doing not necessarily the proper healing, but making sure I'm living as I'm healing, because some people will heal and then boom, they're right back into something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So heal and enjoy it too. You know what I mean? And just walking around every day healed and feeling good. And you know, it makes me feel, I wake up every day with like a real purpose. You know what I'm saying? And like you get into relationships and you wake up having to worry about someone else. You know what I mean? And that's not to knock anybody in a relationship, but if you don't I look at it that way.
Yeah.
From where I'm sitting right now. You know what I'm saying? I maybe didn't look at it that way when I was in a relationship, but I look at it that way right now because I don't have time for anybody else but me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just only have time to focus on me.
I think you make a good point because there is something to be said before you get into a relationship, especially if you're looking for a long-term relationship, being able to be totally content with just yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think even when you're in a long-term relationship, it's very important that you want to come together on all the things, but you also want to maintain your individuality. Yeah. You don't want to lose yourself in this relationship. So I think you're very wise to say that.
Yeah, I was right. Like right before I got into that relationship, I started making a ton of money because I was working in the pot industry.
There we go.
So I was making a ton of money, and I was feeling good. I had been single for a while. Comedy was going well.
Nice.
And then I get into this situation and I just lose everything because I had nothing to wasn't refilling. Like, you know what I mean? You got to pour into people, and I just wasn't being poured into when I was pouring everything out. And so I left it drained.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, where was I going with that?
We're at that story.
Yeah.
We were talking about like once you're healed, kind of staying in that space, filling your own cup, and making sure that your cup has enough excess runneth over to fill into others.
You need the excess runneth over before you go start pouring. But I don't have any of that. I mean, I got plenty.
Yeah.
But I pour that into like my kid. I can pour that into my kid or my dogs, or just that energy that I have to get up in the morning and go work out, or work out at night after work. You know, just taking advantage of that extra time and energy that I have. Because when you're in a relationship, period, you are putting extra time into.
Very true.
You're putting time into someone else.
Very true.
I mean, because you have to in order to make it, in order to survive, and in order for the relationship to survive and thrive.
Yeah,
you got to put time in. So, and I don't want to, because I don't have to.
Yeah, that the realization of like where you're at right now, just being like, listen, I'm doing me right now. I'm pouring into my own pursuits.
Yeah.
I think that while you have that mindset, deciding like, I'm not going to get into anything serious because I'd be bringing them into something that wouldn't work for me and wouldn't work for them. That's a very mature place to be.
And that's why you have jump offs.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody that can come through every 10 to 12 business days.
Yes, business days.
You know what I'm saying? You strip at the door, you sit on the couch, and you watch a little TV. You know what I mean? Maybe about an hour in TV, the hands get to flying. You're drinking bourbon, you're drinking an old fashioned, you're smoking a little pot, and then it is on.
Yeah.
Like Donkey Kong. Like sex that would make the good Lord proud.
Oh,
you know
that's
what I mean?
the best kind.
And then you know what is, I am like, and then you're like turning on the oven before they even leave. You know what I'm saying? Because you know.
To make your snack.
Because you know what I'm saying? You know, because the snack is coming. Because you just put all that work in. It's time for a snack.
You have so many good bits about like heating up the oven for your snack. Like, man, that's such a common.
I'm going to snack. And that's another thing, dude. I don't want to share my snacks. Like if I got, say I went to Chili's and I got that three-peat thing. You know what I'm saying? I got the Southwest egg rolls. I got some chicken wings, and maybe I got wings. Like some chicken sliders or something like that, right? And then I don't eat it all. And then I put it in my fridge. I go to work. I come home. Somebody don't put their fingers in it. Bitch, no. That is not how I want my life to be.
It was not community property.
I've been thinking about them snacks all day when I was at work. Like, man, when I'm telling my coworkers when I get home, I got this triple dipper that I didn't eat all of from earlier. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking that up. You know
Dude, I'm the same way. Like my biggest vice is food. Like I love food. Because I don't drink or smoke or anything. Yeah. But like food, I gotta really watch. But I'm crazy about food. I
definitely have to watch my sugar intake, and I've been thinking about that because I'm getting some bumps that I don't.
It affects your skin.
Yeah, it does, man. Like soda, I love like a soda every now and again, like a Coke.
Me too.
And then I'm drinking a Red Bull.
I'm drinking a soda right now.
I brought some Sour Patch Kids that you haven't touched.
Snacks. Well, no, I don't want to take your.
That's for us.
Oh, it's for us.
That whole bag of. Yeah, we're almost an hour into this.
You know what? I was thinking like, oh, Will has his snacks.
No,
I do not want to fuck up his snacks.
No, man, this is for everybody because I'm gonna leave these here. I'm not gonna put these back in my car.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna indulge in those after we wrap up.
Anyhow, did we talk about exes? Oh, we did. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you have any stories about an ex you want to share before we wrap it up,
I did think about this though. I thought about, you know, how sometimes exes come back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But they come back for a reason.
And sometimes I'm the ex that goes back.
We all have been the ex. Some exes I would understand if they somehow pop back into my life. I would understand what the reason was because I've had some and then tried again and then realized, okay, we tried again for that reason.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I learned this much more about the person, this much more about myself through that person. So these things are good. But there's one ex that here's the scenario of how this person would have to be brought back into my life.
Oh, okay.
Jesus himself would have to call me and be like, hey, yo, bro, I got them blessings for you.
Wow.
Meet me at this hotel by the spiral staircase.
Wow. A specific staircase.
This is what has to happen.
Okay.
I get to that hotel, that spiral staircase, and instead of Jesus coming down the steps with a briefcase full of money and a car, you know what I'm saying? He's bringing down this person.
Wow. So this person's dead.
Huh?
Is what you're saying?
No, this person isn't dead. No.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was having to bring her down from heaven.
This is the only way that this particular person would be let back into my life is if Jesus walked them down a spiral staircase and back into my life.
Wow.
And you know what I would do? I would grab the person by the hand and be like, I'll be with you in a minute. And like, hey, Jesus, let's step outside for a second. And I'm going, as soon as we get outside the doors where nobody can see, I'm going to sock the shit
You're punching Jesus?
out of Jesus. Yeah, because I feel like if you punch a police dog, you're getting like 30 days to 7 years, depending on, you know, what your record is.
Yeah.
But if you punch Jesus, that's death. And there's no way in hell that person, no. So I'm curb stomping Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Because why did you do this to me?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dang. So there's, even under those circumstances, they're brought back into your life. You're exiting your own life, is what you're
I'm
telling
out of
me.
here, man. Because there's no way. Why would you do that to me, Jesus? You know what I'm saying? Step outside, catch this fade real quick. I'm not even going to warn him. I'm just going to step outside, just clock him a good time. You know what I mean? If that don't shake him up, I'm going to hit him again.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
true. I wonder how, like, if Jesus, part of his mortal body, is, you know, susceptible to punches, or if he has kind of a divine
Nah, man,
chin.
he on earth. I'm gonna say, if you're gonna do this, drop all your powers when you come down that. Leave
the
circle.
divine chin in heaven.
Leave
Let's
all
see
that
what
up there,
happens.
all that omnipotence. You knowing what's coming. Leave that up there because you ain't finna see these punches coming. Because I'm finna rock your shit, Jesus.
Oh, damn, that's funny. Ooh, I want to wrap it up with a reflective question here. We've talked a lot about past funny stories, what we've learned. Let's dial it in on a specific. What's a specific thing that you used to do in relationships, or that somebody would do to you that you thought was romantic, but now you realize it was needy?
I was dating and living with a person that cooked all the time.
Ooh.
But she used like 8,000. Like if she made a sandwich, there would be like 40 dishes in the sink. Like,
Oh.
how did you make 2 sandwiches and I gotta wash? What did you use a pot for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You made 2 sandwiches.
I had to boil the bologna.
Well, I took the pot out because I thought I was gonna use it, but then I put it back up. So I just put it in the sink.
Oh, no.
No, but I would wash dishes. Like I would keep that person's kitchen spick and span.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was...
Sounds romantic.
I thought that was romantic because it's, you know, it's one of those things that it's in an environment like that, it's supposed to get you sex, but I wasn't even doing it for that. I was doing it because I just, if I was going to be living there temporarily, I didn't want to be, you know, I didn't want to be the person like, oh, you just cook, let me sit here on my ass. You know
It sounds nice.
But yeah, so I would always make sure the kitchen was clean because it was one of the first things you saw if you came into the house a certain way. You know what I mean? So
that sounds nice to me. You regret doing it?
Yeah, man, I should let the dishes pile up sometimes. Like, yo, you get up in there and bust some suds one time, man.
That's so
I helped
funny.
you cook. Help me.
Oh, that's so
dry.
Funny.
Put
Okay.
them.
So you're saying maybe, you know, it's not that you wouldn't do chores for somebody, it's that there would be more communication about divvying up the responsibilities.
Help me out, man.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a hand dishwasher, ladies. I just want to let you know that I have a dishwasher in my house. I have 2 of them actually, and one of them is these hands.
Okay.
I
got 2 dishwashers, right and left.
Right and left. I grew up hand washing dishes. I love hand washing dishes,
Gotcha.
man. So I loved it, and I think she took the fun out of it because it was almost expected. Like one time she was cooking and I was washing dishes, and she threw something in there while I was washing.
Ooh.
Yo, I almost packed my bags for right then and there. Like, yo, I'll turn all these faucets on and get out of here. I would turn the sprayer on.
So it sounds like it wasn't necessarily the chore; it was maybe the lack of communication and unclear expectations.
I felt disrespected sometimes.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you're happy to do it, but you want it to be appreciated. You want it to be a little more equal.
Yeah, like,
okay.
Like I don't know, man. The kitchen was just my thing.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And everything, and I'm a sweeper too, so I always swept. But like, do your part, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Help me out, please.
Yeah, a little bit of like equal participation.
There are no gender roles if I'm in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
You're progressive.
We work.
You're a hero.
Let's work together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These cars need to be washed. Come on out here. We'll make it sexy. Let's do it shirtless.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Yeah, make it fun.
Yeah.
I should have washed the dishes naked, but I don't even think I wanted to. I just didn't want to be around her after she threw that pot in there, man.
Like, I don't even want to have sex right now.
I'm
I just want to
good.
get this clean, pack my
and
bag.
go lay down at my house.
Yeah. Man, that's great. Any final thought you wanted to share? Because that's all I had for you.
Well, since we're talking about relationships, I think it's important for people to understand to love yourself first. It's, I mean, you see it everywhere on social media.
Yeah, this is good. We'll wrap up with like a reflective.
Yeah, it's just key because you know RuPaul says it best. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you can't love yourself in a healthy way, you don't know what it looks like to love someone else the right way either.
Exactly. And if you're also not gonna be able to accept anyone else's love if you don't love yourself correctly. You know what I mean? That should be on the back of a t-shirt.
I think something that I'm like an idea I'm kind of crystallizing in my head is like the idea of like expectations going into a relationship. I remember growing up, like being younger, dating, and even talking to people now that date. They're always talking about what they're looking for in a partner. Oh, they got to do this, they got to do that. You know, oh, he's got to do this, he's got to do that. He's got to bring this to the table. I would encourage people, and this I think is a part of self-love, turning the lens back on yourself and being like, what do I bring to the table?
Yeah.
Because if what I bring to the table isn't worthy of this dream person I have, I got to work on me first. Yeah. I got to level up my shit and love myself enough to be worthy of this thing I'm pursuing.
Yep.
So I think that's something that I want to be more cognizant of.
That's beautifully put.
Oh,
yeah.
thank you, sir.
And then like if you have to walk away from said relationship, you want to walk away with yourself.
Ooh,
at least.
Yeah.
At the very least, walk away with yourself.
That's a great point. You don't want to walk away and be like, who am I? What was that last 2 years? I'm lost.
Exactly. Oof. Been there.
Yeah. Ooh, well said. Man, thanks for coming on today. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, this was great. I feel like we've saved tons of relationships today, and I feel like we've also ruined a few.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We don't want to be in the middle. We don't want to be ambivalent. We're either going to get you down the aisle or get you fighting at 3 a.m. at a Denny's.
Oh, man, I've been there too, baby. Woo! In the Denny's and in the parking lot. But you know what? I ate. She didn't eat. I ate. I was like, I'm hungry. I said, we was going to Denny's to talk it out. Yeah. That meant ordering some breakfast. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, lady, listen, we're going somewhere where somebody else does the dishes.
Okay? I ain't washing my damn dish after these pancakes. You know what I'm saying? Slept good that night.
Dude, thanks for coming on. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Folks, we'll see you next week.